You might be wasting hours and hours of progress and you are not even realizing it. Here are 5 mistakes almost every single Wuthering Waves player makes and how to correct them. So let's jump right into the video. Starting off with number 1, a very common mistake players make when it comes to Wuthering Waves is being blindsided by the difference between a good character and its rarity, which is a very easy and common mistake to make, especially when you are new to gacha games. You don't understand the power or how good a character can actually be. Basically, what that means is tossing a great 4-star character over a shiny 5-star character. This of course isn't anyone's fault, because when you see a higher tier character, first assumptions are that the character is an easy replacement for a 4-star in your main team composition. However, this couldn't be farther from the truth. In Wuthering Waves, it's important that your team of 3 resonators all coordinate together to give the best results, and sometimes this means including a 4-star unit in your team composition. And yes, just to clarify, 3 5-star DPS or damage dealing characters isn't going to be better than a 4-star character included in that team composition. Essentially, what you want to do is build a team that is evenly spread out in power level and fills roles correctly. There are teams out there that have 2 DPS team compositions that work, but it's still not 3. Essentially, most team compositions have a main damage dealer, a hybrid character, and a support type of character. And sometimes in these teams of 3, having the 4-star over the 5-star is going to be way more essential. A perfect example of a 4-star unit that has been a powerhouse since the closed beta 2 version of the game is the 4-star character Wuwa. Wuwa easily is hands down one of the best units in the game to date. She has one of the fastest rotations in the game, and while doing so still benefits your team in dealing burst damage. As a hybrid character who dishes lots of AoE damage and also has one of the quickest rotations in the game, she's very beneficial to those DPS type of characters or team setups where the main damage dealer has to be on the field for most of the duration, sucking up all that field time compared to other characters on your team. So Wuwa would be a perfect character for characters like Camellia, who dishes a lot of basic attack damage and soaks up all that field time that we just mentioned. Before I forget to mention, the most important thing to know about Wuwa's kit is that she provides a 38% attack amplification bonus, which comes strictly from her outro, giving Wuwa insane support capabilities and again a really good partner for Camellia. Wuwa is easily one of the best top tier hybrids in the game currently, and she is not only a 4-star unit but a free one at that. You do obtain her at the beginning of your playthrough in Wuthering Waves, which I'm sure that most of you guys already have her, and she even has insane sequences or duplicates to help her enhance her performance as a unit. It is very important to keep in mind when looking at your team composition and filling in the slots that the said character is going to perform in that role. Wuwa, for instance, as we just went over, easily clears a whole bunch of other characters that would try to give her a run for her money as a valuable hybrid character in this role. There's a bunch of other units out there that would work better for your team composition than replacing it with a random 5-star unit in general when it comes to making these teams. You must always keep it in mind that rarity doesn't exactly mean good for your scenario. You may also take this into consideration when thinking about summoning for new characters. Do you absolutely need the units you are going for, or can you make it by with the current roster of characters that you own, and can that 4-star character actually outperform the character that you're looking to get? Basically, you got to put it on a scale. Is it really worth going for that character? Just something to always keep in mind when forming new teams and thinking about what characters you want to summon for. Also, not to mention, it's a gacha game. You're going to always fall in love with new characters that come out or get drip marketed in the future, because it's a constant cycle that gets us to play these games over and over and over again and do the same things over and over again because it's fun. But just remember, sometimes it's okay to skip a unit that you particularly don't want, because there's always future possibilities out there for other characters. So when it comes to the second mistake that lots of players are still currently making, or maybe you as a new player are making, is going to be managing your resources and actually saving up your materials rather than just spending them aimlessly. Now, to of course give you guys context, when it comes to characters coming out or building teams to help you earn more resources like gacha currency, you're gonna not want to burn all your materials on things you aren't going to use. What I personally like to do is use my resources on more versatile units first. 2 resonators that I like to mention in my videos a lot are 2 support characters named Verena and Shorekeeper, who are both very insane units. If you hear anybody or any player talk about these 2 characters in specific, you will hear that they are the most flexible characters in the game that you can use in mostly every single team composition. Like, they are never not needed. And when you have characters like Verena and Shorekeeper, who are amazing support characters that are versatile to any team, you absolutely got to focus and prioritize building these characters first, because they're going to be in most of your team compositions to begin with. Like, Verena and Shorekeeper are 2 units that will basically never be rotated out of your team composition. Not only will they be good in multiple teams, but building support characters first will also help you out with the difficult endgame modes when you are later in the game, and when you are trying to farm or clear the endgame in general. Resources are pretty scarce, especially when you aren't using the materials efficiently. What can happen if you don't do this is basically, if you are looking to summon for more units, you won't have any materials to actually build these future units that you're going to invest into. And when you do that, you realistically can't add any new units to your roster of resonators. Going broke spending the wrong things on the things you don't need is a mistake that I made and I'm currently paying for as we speak. I don't have enough materials to invest into my Furlova for my Havoc team because I wasted these materials on characters that I don't even use, or because I lack the information that I do now on account management. If you're in a scenario where you used up all your materials and resources, your account isn't necessarily chalked. It's alright because I'm in this position as we currently speak, and what I'm doing to get myself out of this position is only investing into characters that I know I'm going to be using in the future and for the longevity of my account on Wuthering Waves. And on that note, that brings me to mistake number 3, and that is using your wave plates incorrectly. Now, it's very common knowledge that logging on every day and doing your dailies and using up your wave plates is the correct way to go about making daily progress in Wuthering Waves. But there's actually a more efficient and proper way to be using your wave plates and doing your dailies, so that way you can build your account and start stacking towards the future rather than just logging on and doing your dailies using your wave plates just to do them. When using your wave plates, you want to have a proper understanding of what your goals are for the progression of your account. For example, if your goal is to level up characters, maybe you need character level up XP from the combat simulation, or maybe you got that and you lack the materials needed from the mini bosses to actually fully upgrade that character you are trying to build. Or you need materials to level up echoes because you ran out upgrading echoes and you didn't really have the RNG gods on your side when building characters. So what you want to use your wave plates on is going to hit a tastic field for a character that you need echoes on and simultaneously get those level up XP materials for those echoes. This can also be the same deal when it comes to leveling up weapons as well. They have their own dungeon and areas where you can gain these materials to level up the weapons that you may not have access to at the moment because you ran out of materials. These are just a whole bunch of examples that I want to go over with stuff that you want to think about when actually consuming those wave plates. And if you made mistake number 2, like I said in this video, where you wasted all those materials, then make sure you are using your wave plates correctly so that way you can get back on track. A very important thing to keep in mind is that progress takes time, especially in these gacha games where taking your time is very crucial, because when you want to rush, you start making easy mistakes and that's when burnout can occur, and then overall you get sick of the game. So it's very important to have a plan and a goal when it comes to building characters or progressing your account forward, and at the same time doing it at your own pace so that way you do not burn out. Now, mistake number 4, I want to talk about using your Afterglow curls incorrectly. The topic of using Afterglow curl is one that is talked about a lot. Before, when it came to Afterglow curl, I was always on the fence on whether or not I should use it for limited banner characters or weapon banners, and I'm talking about limited, of course, because you should never use the Afterglow curl on standard banner summons. This would be a waste and another mistake that you should never make. However, we are talking about whether or not you should use your summons on limited banner weapons or characters, or simply just save them so you can get an extra duplicate of a really good limited character or your favorite one at that. If you want to maximize your summons, especially if you are free to play, it would not hurt to buy dupes of characters like Shorekeeper, who we talked about a little bit earlier in this video, but do not do it on Verena. And the reason why you don't want to do it on Verena is because there is still implemented a 50-50 loss system where when you are summoning for a limited banner character, you still have a 50% chance of losing your rate up, and worst case scenario, you at least get Verena when you lose your 50-50. So that's why using Afterglow curl on Verena isn't really worth it, or any standard banner character at that. So for me personally, after I made my Lupa summoning video and completely went broke going for her just to not even use her at all, I realized something. Using your Afterglow curl for extra limited banner currency is just way too risky and it costs too much when you could have a duplicate of a unit, which is a better investment in many ways. For one, you're relying solely on RNG to obtain this character when you're using the Afterglow curl on more summons, and 2, why not make characters that you already have on your team compositions twice as strong by getting duplicates of them? I know everyone has their own opinions about what you should do with your Afterglow curl. Me personally, I'm going to just save them to get more duplicates of my favorite characters. I will say though, if you're nearing hard pity and you know you are going to get the character soon or the weapon, then I would say it's fine to use some of the Afterglow curl. But in my honest opinion, I think you should just save them for character duplicates. Instead of wasting extra summons on Lupa, I could have just saved the Afterglow curl for a sequence 1 Shorekeeper in the future to maximize the character that I always will have fielded. Now, the last mistake I want to talk about is not doing proper research before making big decisions for your account, which if you made it this far in the video, you are already preventing that mistake from happening. Doing proper research for your account, whether that's building characters, making specific team compositions, or whether or not you should pull a specific unit, or if this unit's better than that unit. I'm sure you see all these videos floating around on YouTube, all these guides, all these websites, and it could get very, very overwhelming. However, the more time you put into this game and the more research you do, the better you will get at the game and making decisions for yourself when it comes to your account. And just so you know, you guys are not alone. Even me, at times when I'm watching other content creators' videos or looking at websites like pridewin.gg, for example, I am still trying to learn and grasp things that I do not understand that other players do. It is very important to understand that there's always going to be somebody better than you at these games or anything in life. But instead of being salty about that or accepting defeat beat to that, why not just try to learn from other people and other players to make yourself better at the thing that you are researching or trying to get better in? Knowledge is power, and I know I'm getting a little philosophical here, but the only person that you should compare yourself to is yourself. At the end of the day, your only goal is to be better than the person that you were yesterday, and whether that comes to weathering waves and getting better at the game or in everyday life, you should always take this as advice. And on that note, if you did make it to the end of this video, make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on post notifications so you never miss a video by me. Hit that like button so I know that you enjoyed the video, and comment your thoughts or a tip that you could teach another player. My name is Mikey, and that is all I have for today. Peace out.